Hey everyone, I hope y'all are doing well. I hope y'all had a good Independence Day, a good 4th of July. If you're American and if you celebrate it, um, yeah, I I'm still recording this. Technically, well, it's now the 5th. It's late at night, but I wanted to record something before I went to bed because I had some thoughts on my mind. So the other day I saw this post on the Onion. Gotta gotta love the Onion. And they posted this post that made fun of the Democrats. It says Democrats back resolution thanking federal agents for handcuffing Alex Padilla. The caption says, after he was forcibly removed from a press conference held in Los Angeles yesterday by Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem, Democrats in the House of Representatives backed a resolution Friday that thanked federal agents for handcuffing Senator Alex Padilla. Quote, we express gratitude to law enforcement for bravely apprehending a sitting U.S. Senator who expressed dissent in a public forum, read the resolution, which won the support of 75 Democrats and praised both FBI and Secret Service agents for risking their lives to throw Padilla to the ground, handcuff him, and drag him outside. And I thought it was kind of funny. Of course, they didn't actually do that when it came to Alex Padilla. But the reason I bring it up now is because they, these dumbasses, these incompetent buffoons, they're now doing this not with Alex Padilla, but with Zohran Mamdani. Zohran Mamdani, since he won his primary in New York City, has been facing threats of deportation and denaturalization from Donald Trump and MAGA. And what has been the response from establishment Democrats and Democratic leadership? Well, here Hakeem Jeffries. He has not yet endorsed Zohran Mamdani, and he has refused to do so. I mean, we got Laura Gillen. She's a Democratic Congresswoman, and she's smearing Mamdani for uh, allegedly calling for violence against Jews, something he's never done. Right? Like, uh, uh, you know, we also have Eric Swalwell here. He says, "quote I'm not a socialist, and I don't associate myself with what he has said about the Jewish people." What has he said about the Jewish people? What? Where are the quotes? Why are they not parading around the quotes? Because you know that if they had the quotes of him being anti Semitic, they would be parading them around. They don't have the quotes. Criticism of Israel is not anti Semitism, okay? If you think that at this late date, yeah, you're. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. And, you know, the other part of it is at this point, especially in the Democratic Party. I mean, maybe this shit still works in the in the Republican Party, but in the Democratic Party, this shit doesn't work. Because here, I got some polls for you. CNN. We got the Democrats who sympathize more with Israelis or Palestinians. Okay, back in 2017, it was plus 13% support for Israel among the Democratic Party. Today, it is plus 43 points. That is massive. And of course, we all know why that is. We've been seeing a genocide, mass murder and just brutality, you know, coming out of Gaza by the IDF for years at this point. It's terrible. It's disgusting. And the numbers, get even more drastic. When you're talking about younger voters. Among younger voters, back in 2017, it was plus 14 points. Now it's plus 57. That is colossal. And, you know, this is just one of the reasons why people are fed up with the Democratic Party, with the DNC and all of the establishment Democrats. That's part of the reason why a lot of people, you know, felt desperate enough to vote for Donald Trump. Not that I'm condoning them voting for him or anything. I feel like people should, try to be more well informed and should try to, you know, have more of a moral compass. But people are getting desperate out here, right? The economy's going to shit. Under Biden wasn't going to shit, but still, it it was. It's not been doing that great for a while for people that are not in the top 1 to 10%. You know, especially if you're in the top. Sorry, if you're in the bottom 50%. You know, if you're poor in this country, you've been getting screwed. And it's not just the poor; it's the working class, the middle class now too. That's basically disappearing to the point where now it feels like you're either rich or you're poor in this country. And all of this is leading to people being, even Democrats themselves, Democratic voters being dissatisfied with their party, with their leaders. Another poll here from CNN, we got 62% of people who are Democrats say that they want their party leaders replaced. That means you, Hakeem. That means you, Chuck. You know, that, yeah, it's hard to disagree. Look, have they done some things here and there that, I've seen and I've been like, okay, that's, a good, savvy political move, or that shows, strength or unity, a few things here and there. But especially when you're feeding into the Republican narrative around Zohran Mamdani, calling him an extremist, you know, feeding into the Islamophobia against him. I find it very curious, actually, how all of a sudden, you know, the hysteria around anti Semitism and perceived anti Semitism is now somehow an excuse for other types of bigotry. It's become an excuse for Islamophobia. It's become an excuse for Donald Trump and the maggots to say, well, we can't be, fascists or Nazis because look, we're backing Israel. Well, we're not anti Semitic, so we can't be bigoted in other ways. Has somehow become the narrative, in American politics, which is insanity. But Yeah. So I find it, you know, insane that the Democratic Party is bending over for MAGA, basically, to, feed into their narrative that's a losing strategy, among their own voters, and honestly at this point just in national politics and international politics. And what bothers me even more is, for years and years, the Democratic establishment has been telling the rest of us, those of us that are, more left leaning, um, that we have to just get in line and we have to vote blue no matter who. That vote for, an outsider, or a vote for a more left wing candidate, or a third party vote is somehow a vote for the opposition. And we've been fed this narrative for years and years. And all of a sudden, the Democratic establishment can't get behind one of their own when it comes to Zohran Mamdani, who won his primary and is being persecuted by MAGA and the government for his ideology and his race, his ethnicity. He is being persecuted for these things by the federal government, by the President of the United States. And some of these Democrats can't grow the balls, can't find the guts in them to stand up for him. When he has momentum behind him, he has popular support. So I got a quote. I got a tweet from you, or a post from you, from Bernie Sanders here. Gotta love Bernie. And he says to Democrat Party leaders, quote, "You have talked for 6 months about the need to create political excitement to get working class and young people involved in the political process. That's exactly what Zohran did. Get behind him." Couldn't have said it better myself. I am so frustrated with this vote blue no matter who bullshit that's been rammed down our throats for years. And when somebody who finally represents the vision that popular people that common people in this country want, that, middle class and poor people and working class people want, they smear him, they join in, they bend over for MAGA. And to them I say, look, we got to make a very clear message, and we got to send it to them to say, this is our party now. This is the If you want to represent the people, then represent us. This is what representing the people means. If you can't work with that, then get the fuck out of politics. And if you refuse, then eventually there's probably just going to be a third party that tells the Democratic Party as a whole to get the fuck out of politics. And I know a lot of people don't think that's possible or feasible. And yeah, it's very difficult for sure. But if there was ever a political environment where I could see a third party surging, it would be this, right? I mean, we saw it in this past election in 2024. The third parties did great. Well, I mean, you know, there was a lot of people that wanted third party options. We had, RFK for a while. A lot of people were into him for some reason. Uh, we had, a lot of the people who were anti-genocide. They wanted other options, so they went with the Green Party. They went with the Libertarians. They went with Colonel West. And if the fundamental issues that are causing all of this instability in this country, which is poverty, which is mental health issues, which is homelessness and the high cost of living. If all of these things go unaddressed, then we're just gonna continue devolving and descending and spiraling further and further into chaos. And eventually what's gonna happen is, you know, potentially a civil war or a revolution of some kind, or a third party is going to come in and, well, yeah, I mean, this all just seems like a recipe for disaster, doesn't it? Especially with all of the instability that's going to be caused by Donald Trump's big, beautiful disaster, right? Which is just reverse Robin Hood, really. Stealing from more and more from the poor to give more and more for the rich. And everybody that's, not rich gets poorer and poorer, and everybody that's already rich gets richer and richer. And I mean, there's only so far you can push the American people, and there's only so much you can squeeze out of, you know, just any population before they rise up. And to quote JFK, those who make peaceful revolution impossible make violent revolution inevitable. I mean, ain't that what, we just celebrated, yesterday? Revolution, the, people rising up against tyranny and oppression, and, being pushed to the edge of confronting the world's largest military at that time. And it's not a unique story by any means. There's other stories just like it, right? A lot of the issues that went unaddressed during that first, during that revolution, then came back later during the Civil War, right? Hey everyone, thank you all for watching. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so we can make this channel grow. This has been Revolution Television, where the revolution is televised. Peace.